Welcome to the Social Mission Revolution.
Each week we explore some of the greatest undertold stories of businesses and everyday people who are making their ultimate impact on the world through social mission. This is Social Mission Revolution,
And this is your host, Andrea Putting. Welcome to Social Mission Revolution, and today I'm speaking with Sharlene Lynch, who is a motivational speaker and very much involved in social mission. So I would like to introduce you to Sharlene. Hi, Sharlene.
Hello, thank you so much for having me here in this space.
Thank you for joining me. I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about your work to start with and what you're about, and then we can move into the social mission part.
Oh, excellent. Well, I can talk about myself all day. So we're already chatting for half an hour, so I'll just give you a brief run through. So I'm a motivational speaker and I talk on mind shift, which is the future of mindset, and passionate about helping people, especially in the DV space, domestic violence space. And we're all about equality and justice and helping people move into a healing space, basically. And that's where Healing Through Love has come from, an opportunity for people to heal and be pampered and have a better understanding of self-care and absolutely loving the process.
Awesome. So I'm going to start with the question that I like to ask people. So what if there was one thing for you that you could fight for, what would that be?
Oh, only one?
Yeah, I know it's a tough one. I could think of plenty myself, but I'm trying to keep to one.
Look, as a woman, I'm going to have to go with equality. So I'd love to herald a new age where we're all just considered human, basically. And very much about equality. I'm very passionate about that. And but I've got a list of about 100, but we're going to go with equality because that's the number one.
Equality. That's awesome. So it'd be good to see, as we go through, talk about your social mission, how that flows into that. I'm sure that it does. So you tell me a little bit more about your social mission. I'd really like to know what it is that inspires you to incorporate a social mission as well.
Okay, so in the space of being a public speaker and talking on Mindshift, I also work as a business coach. And several years ago, I was approached by two lovely young ladies who were looking at a pamper day for survivors of domestic violence. And they had been chewing over this idea for a couple of years and hadn't been able to get it off the ground. So I sat with them and we had a really good look at it and saw that perhaps maybe we needed to change the structure of the setup just slightly, so that it would be something that was duplicatable and it would work for both the exhibitors and also the participants. That idea didn't go ahead, and then not even 12 months later, I got a phone call from Natasha Olsen saying, okay, I've joined the Mariam Council Leadership Program and they've given me some incentive to move forward with this. Let's all get together and see what we can do. And that began Healing Through Love. So we met at a pub, and there was 3 of us at the meeting. That was Remy, myself, and Natasha Olsen. And we came up with a name, we came up with a concept. And we understood that this was going to be a work in progress, that we weren't going to have all the answers straight away, but we had the mission, and we knew it felt right. We knew we were doing the right thing to marry business with the people that needed the end result, and to work predominantly with girls in that space that have been through domestic violence themselves. So not only providing a safe environment for people who are going through the throes of DV, but the girls that are providing that love and that service are girls themselves that have been touched by it. So it was, help yourself and then help other people, and it's built a very strong model.
Wonderful. That's a good philosophy, is getting them to learn those skills and then be able to help others, because in doing that, they feel more positive about themselves as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is our second year, and this Saturday will be our second event, and then we've got plans to take it further abroad, and also to make it a more sustainable business as well, and have a location for the services. Moving down the track.
One step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time.
So can you tell me more about what the day actually incorporates?
Yeah, great question. Okay, so we've got 22 exhibitors, and each of these exhibitors cover all sorts of variety of subjects, from hairdressers. We've also got makeup artists and girls who specialise in skincare. We've got hand massagers, people that specialise in different types of therapies like quantum healing, and we've got Reiki. We've got people that do different types of energy healing. We've got ministers of religion in that space. We also have some people who are supplying information as well. So Alcoholics Anonymous are there, and a few other service providers and finance as well. So people who specialise in finance. So all of the aspects and areas that you would need to have assistance in. So the exhibitors are there obviously earlier. At 11 o'clock the guests arrive, and at reception they receive their goodie bag. The goodie bag is basically empty. The idea is to go from stall to stall and fill that up with goodies from each of the stands. Some of them will be handing out vouchers, others will hand out samples, and then they go from each stand to experience the different physical aspects of the pampering, and then also the informational aspects. Overlaid on top of that, we have a sharing room where we've got public speakers talking about different aspects of healing and moving forward and asking better questions, and that is run over the middle of that. So girls will come out, get a bit of pampering, go in and have a sit down for whichever speaker they want to listen to, and pop backwards and forwards. We also have meditation and in a different room, and we also have a kids room, so an environment for the kids to play that's safe and watched by a daycare worker. And so the mums can maybe go and have a massage, leave their kids there for 20 minutes while they have the massage, and then come back and pick them up. We have a kitchen area. We've got some beautiful food, and it's $2 for each of the food items, and there's a whole variety of really healthy choice foods. And and this all happens all at the same time, and it goes from 11 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's free for the girls to participate, and the exhibitors themselves, they have donated some raffle prizes and giftings for the day. So the idea is that this doesn't cost them to come along, and the exhibitors have an opportunity to pay it forward predominantly. They also have an opportunity to meet people that might be interested in whatever they're doing and take their relationship further. But predominantly it's about pampering, and everyone that's participating understands that.
Sounds like a fabulous day. I can imagine that it would be so incredibly healing for them. I come from a naturopathic and spiritual healing background, so I understand that the value of what you're offering to people and how vital it would be in their recovery and finding that self-worth, which is one thing that I very much value, is them feeling that they are worthy of that.
Yeah, we've had some amazing feedback from girls who participated in the first one, and I'm trying not to cry.
Oh, I can feel the energy of it. That's fine.
We had a couple of ladies just say that for them this was the best thing that ever happened to them, and to have a look at that as a pampering day and go, wow, this woman's in her 30s and this is the best thing that's ever happened to her. And she wasn't blowing wind up us or anything. She was genuinely saying that with tears in her eyes. To know that you've got the capacity to put something together that can make a difference in someone's life and help them on that healing path to move forward, that's just absolutely outstanding. I did forget to mention that we have Win Inspire with us as well, which is clothing. So this is all secondhand clothing and bags and shoes and jewellery, stationery items and things, because some of these girls have got nothing, and I think they're like $1 for a suit, and these are for the girls so that they can, because a lot of them are still going through the court process, and some of them are going through job interview process as well. So just that a little bit of extra assistance in that area for them to pick up some outfits that make them feel good and empower them so that they can go do the things that they need to do next.
Yeah, there is just so much that they need, but it's so little to actually help them out with that. Isn't it?
Well, it takes the collaboration of all like-minded people with the same mission, really, people that really want to make a difference and pay it forward. As an individual, we can do just one thing, but as a group, the collaborative results of this is absolutely outstanding to create a day of so much healing. You can feel the energy when you walk into the room, and everyone's abuzz. The organisers would have been there from 7 o'clock in the morning just setting up stalls, and it's just you can't bottle this. You can't even explain it. There aren't any words to explain the frequency of this many people stepping up, leaning in and paying it forward to this level. You know, that's a whole day for some of these people, and they're running businesses of their own, and that means they don't get to see their clients they would normally be seeing, especially the hairdressers who are normally fully booked. This is a big deal for them to be able to take this day off and make a difference.
Yeah. So it's more, like you say, you can't explain it, but you can feel it. You can feel the energy around that, and the importance that is for everyone who is involved. And it just makes me think that for each and every one of us, we can't do everything, but if we can do that one section of something, then it makes an incredible difference in
so true.
Journey.
So true. So for a lot of these women, this is not the only act of kindness that they do in their lives. But for some people who are really new into business, this might be their very first bigger venture. And so we hope that we're like cracking open their heart a little bit more so that they can fit more in there and do more.
Yeah, and for them to helps them to recognise the value of doing that business isn't all about you receiving an income. It's also about how you can be of service to the community.
Absolutely, and to such a worthy group of women. And I say women because it's angled at women, and we have a broader understanding of what domestic violence is. But for these, we find that most of our participants, in fact, pretty much all of them, are women. We do have some men in the space, some ministers and people that are representing services, but majority of the people that are coming are actually women.
Yeah, I understand that. So while you're doing this, you've also got your business. So I'd like to know, how does that, for you, impact the way that you do your business?
Right. Okay. So I have a few businesses, not just one. So I've run. You're laughing like you're not surprised.
Yeah, I know all about that. Hands in pies. Yeah,
I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. Let's call it. That's politely calling it.
Yes.
So in this space, just on Saturday, I'll be having my own stand because I've run a multi-level marketing business for nearly 30 years. So I'll be providing services to people, and then I'll also be speaking as I'm a public speaker. Last year, I also belly dance, and I have a dance troupe. Last year we danced. This year it was just going to be too complicated for me to do all of those things and still act as the vice president. So one thing had to go, so it was the belly dancing. So for me, all of my worlds collide. So when I'm running Speakers Tribe in South Australia, it's a great opportunity for us to speak to people in that space and say, have you considered stepping up and making a difference in the DV space? So we've actually managed to get people that haven't even thought about providing services in this field through my public speaking. Through my multi-level marketing, I've met people as I do expos and fetes and fairs and everything else that we go to create leads in the business. I've met other people that are getting themselves up and running. So I've brought lots of people into the fold because I've said, hey, look, we do this great thing. Would you want to come do this great thing with us? So for me, all of my worlds have collided, and it's great. I need a one business card that says everything so that I can, instead of having 3 different business card holders in my handbag.
And so I actually put on one card.
I find that that yes, all my worlds collide, and I love it because it gives me there's something in one world that can feed another, and yeah, for me, I love it this way. I cannot imagine a life without having so many different aspects of me, and everything crosses over, and it just seems very comfortable. Everyone goes, I just don't understand how you do it. But for me, it just seems like the natural way for me to do things is to have my fingers in lots of different pies, and it really has helped us get a deeper level of assistance, really, and understanding by having all of these different aspects. So yeah, and again, we couldn't do what we do without having such an amazing committee. Our committee totally rocks.
Yeah.
When we didn't have any funding, we did it all out of our own pocket, and that's amazing. It's amazing.
I like to call it, it's not a leadership team, it's a teamship.
We're a group of women that really love each other's company, and we choose to spend time with each other. And so this is born out of love. Yeah, the whole process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You've seen a need and you've found a way to fulfill it.
Well, we asked ourselves, because we're all survivors, we asked ourselves, what would we have needed at that time? And came up with a list of the things that we needed, and now we're supplying those things. We just wish we could supply them more regularly instead of just once a year, and that we could have them in not just Adelaide, in other states and around the world.
Absolutely. We'll have to see what we can do from this point. See if some other people might be interested in taking up the cause.
It is a very worthwhile cause, and even just from the point of paying it forward, there's also, as I was running my own stand, many of the girls that I met then went on to become either clients or customers, and I've been able to spend more quality time with them. So from a business perspective, it's been great. From a human perspective, it's been amazing.
Yeah. So you see the value for a business to have some kind of incorporation of, as you say, paying it forward. I just like to say being in service to the community. So you see the benefits of those, how they run side by side for greater impact. Yeah,
I mean, even on a chemical level, I mean, it makes a difference. When we make a difference for other people, I mean, we get serotonin hits. So we get the drugs. So it's like, it's just on every level. I do believe this is how we are meant to make a difference by as you say, serving. And you just need to find the thing that's important to you. So coming from the DV space myself, this is important to me. This is a way of reaching for that equality. This is a way for us to, not about justice, just about healing. And I believe that if I was in a more resilient state and more bulletproof, I would have been able to walk away. So we want to come from that area to help the women empower themselves and lift their self-worth, so they become impenetrable, really. And it's like, whatever, speak to the hand. And that's the angle that we are, and also to shift awareness on domestic violence so that people understand it's not just women, it is men, it is children, it affects the community. And sad to say, also in the aged care area as well. So we want to do something more in that space. We're really unsure how we can get some leverage in that space. So, but we're open to suggestions in that space.
And sometimes that's what it takes, isn't it? Being open to the idea and allowing that to come forward in whatever way it just chooses to.
So we're open. We're just waiting for it to drop in now.
And that's the thing, is that we need to be open to those promptings that come to us of where we can go and what we can do. And when we follow those, then amazing things start to unfold before us.
Magic happens.
Magic happens, absolutely. So along your journey, what if there was something that you could take, that you could give to somebody else, that would, in terms of advice on how they could go about things like doing something that's touching their soul, what would that be?
Oh, great question. Okay, so having some real clarity around about what pushes your buttons. And as a person who's multi-passionate, there's lots of things that get my attention. So I had to ask myself, what if I couldn't have that anymore, if I couldn't do that anymore, how would I feel? So that helped me narrow down that the DV space was where I really wanted to make an impact, because so that was the first thing, having your really strong why and figuring out that is the one thing that you want to lean into and make a difference in. And then literally it changes the way you think, because you'll bump into people, you'll see things, you'll hear things. The opportunities will literally present themselves. So I'd already thought about making a difference in that space. And then Penny and Natasha contacted me to sit down in a business coaching aspect and have a look at what their proposal was and to see what we could do to make that better. That just landed. And then let it go. Some other things popped up in between time. And then Natasha made another phone call. Okay, we're ready to do this. Let's just do it now. So I really do think that once you've made the decision about what area you want to make a difference in, and it will come. It will come.
Yeah.
And so making that why decision very first. Like I love Simon Sinek's start with why, and then it will build. And don't beat yourself up, because it is a steep learning curve. There are lots of things to learn. You don't need to do everything. As a recovering perfectionist and a Virgo, I did believe I had to do everything. You don't have to do everything. The right people will appear. Just keep yourself open and tell everybody. So before we'd even made it happen, we were telling everybody what it was going to look like, even when we hadn't actually figured out what it was going to look like. And it ended up looking like that anyway. So, and I think as women sometimes, I try to explain this to my other half, is that we talk things out about what we're going to do rather than sit in our caves, figure it out, and then tell the result. So in the talking, in the telling, comes the learning, and we get feedback from people about how we can move forward or not move forward, and it gives us an opportunity to test and try an idea about something and figure out if we're on the right track. So that's made all the difference. And as women, we're good for that. We're good for having a chat. So I would use that skill set to talk to everybody about your idea and get that feedback about what they feel would work for them or not work for them. And, because you're going to see different perspectives. But you need to always start the journey with a why. Don't beat yourself up. And have a little bit of faith. Other people will step in and help you where you need it. As long as you're really letting everybody know. Yeah.
That's great advice. It's just get in there and get it happening. And I do find that myself. It's like in the talking through the process, it helps you to clarify what it is you are trying to do, trying to achieve. And you come away from a conversation. Your personal conversations in your head would take you 10 times as long to get to that point where you talk to one person about it. In 5 minutes, it's light bulbs going off.
It is so true. And I think I don't think we would be here today if we hadn't had the opportunity to talk this out and figure it out, because everyone else has a different opinion about how it should work.
Yeah.
I think the very first thing was even though we want to make a difference and even though we want to lean in and make this happen, we just didn't know if there were enough other people out there that felt the same way about this space and that it had personally touched them. and that they wanted to pay it forward. So that's why we started, sending out Facebook requests saying, like, have you been touched by domestic violence? Are you in a position to pay it forward? Would you be open to having a look at this? And it was interesting, the results that we started to get. Just by doing a few posts, we started a chat. Natasha started the post, and within a couple of weeks, we had over 20 people in that conversation who said, yes, I have been, and yes, I don't have much to pay forward, but whatever I have, I'd really like to give it a go. So, so the power of social media was amazing when you ask the right question.
Yes.
You have to ask the right question. So we need to be really clear about what we were doing as far as working in this space and creating something that was all around pampering and education and shifting awareness on domestic violence, and then asking the right questions. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. It's spending that time and working out what that right question is. And if you don't get the response, try another one.
Yes. Reword the question.
Got to do a lot of that in the process.
It's true. But having the conversations with other people first gives you the language.
Yes.
So we were very quick to speak to our avatar, very quick to speak to women who were in the throes of going through this and say, this is what we're putting together. How do you feel about that? Would you even turn up? And that gave us, their responses gave us language that we could use around everything. Yeah.
Some fabulous advice there. Really great. I'm sure people will be ticking off writing notes about things that they should be doing when they're trying to get their own social mission.
Absolutely. And look, I think that everybody needs a social mission, at least one.
Yes.
It fills your heart. It makes you feel good, and it really does. This is the way we're supposed to be. We are definitely. We're all in this boat together.
We are, and we don't want to sink. So.
No. Being part of Speakers Tribe SA, I get the privilege of seeing so many people with so many beautiful ideas, and a lot of them are socially driven. And I love them all. I just can't do them all because I need time to do other things. But I do see how these people have got fire in their belly beyond what I see in the 9-to-5 people, and they are just attached to making a difference, and they use their businesses to give them leverage to make that social change. Yeah, and sometimes it's the other way around. They make the social change, and that gives their business leverage. Yes. So they're supposed to be together. Yes, this is the way we are supposed to be.
Fantastic. So you've had it's been a great journey learning your experience and your journey in this. But I also want to leave you with an opportunity to give a pitch to people, whether it's your social mission and your business, how can people get involved or find out more about what you do?
So if you're in the Adelaide space, so if you live in Adelaide and you are a survivor, or you have a friend who is a survivor, send them along to the event. If you are someone who has been through domestic violence and you're in a position now to pay it forward, we are starting the list now of people who want to be involved in our next event, which is going to be even bigger. So we're looking at having 50 exhibitors, and we're also looking at holding it in the city. If you would like to donate money,
always welcome.
Help. So we're absolutely, it costs money to run something like this, and it's everything that you do, every cent that you give us goes straight back into either buying food or organising things to create these events. We're looking forward to having them more regularly. We want to do several a year, not just one. We also want to move into the space of having them interstate and eventually overseas. So if you live in a different state and you would like to lean in and run your own Pamper Days, please contact us. We would love to have a conversation with you. We're starting to create our subcommittees for the different states. So yeah, we would really love that.
Fantastic. And I'm sure that there's many people out there who have been touched by domestic violence who would like to help out in this kind of field. I can think of a couple of myself who may be interested. And it's been a real pleasure speaking with you today, Sharlene. I think your mission is really an important one, and you're obviously making a big impact to the lives of women, but not just the women, it's to their children and in the long run to society by helping to heal that particular issue that's a bit epidemic in this country, unfortunately. So thank you so much, Sharlene, for your time today. I really appreciate it, and I've enjoyed speaking with you.
It's been an absolute privilege and an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And join me again next week for another Social Mission Revolution episode, where we'll speak to another social mission revolutionist. Talk to you then. Bye. This has been the Social Mission Revolution with Andrea Putting. Join me again next week when we'll speak to another social mission revolutionist who will inspire you on your journey to making your ultimate impact on the world.